Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantele Francis, here with my lovely co-host. We have
Jonathan Oliveira.
Hello, Jonathan. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm good.
Good.
Excited to talk about this.
Oh, so am I. Now, if this is your first time on Reality Realness, well, then welcome. Please do us a favor and subscribe right down over there. We are on our mission to 1,000 subscribers by hopefully October 18th, and then I'll have a surprise guest to come and review one of our shows. So today, we're talking about something new. Jonathan convinced me that it was it. We needed to cover
All my fault.
Singer.
I said it's all my fault, yes.
All your fault.
Yes.
And I'm so happy that you brought me into this world. I've seen season 1. I haven't seen season 2 yet, but I will do a watch this weekend. And we're just getting into the first 3 episodes of The Masked Singer, season 4, episode 1, 2, and 3. Sorry, let me just clarify that. I didn't watch season 1. I watched season 2. I didn't watch season 3, which I'll watch this weekend. And then we're on season 4. I forgot. Did you watch season 1? I feel like it was one of those like.
Yeah, I've watched all of it. I watch everything.
Should I watch season 1 or no?
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And there's a UK version as well, no? But I guess I wouldn't know the stars, so it wouldn't really be as fun.
Is there a UK version? I didn't even know that.
This is definitely stealing content from another
country. Yeah, but true, exactly. We have no idea.
It could have been Japan. It was somewhere out of the North America, for sure. Well, I mean, I've never really covered this show before, but I come from, an arts background. So do you, in the sense that you're a casting director. So I think it would be fun to kind of look at the clues and see if our ears are good and, play a little bit detective as we try to figure out who these masked singers are.
Yeah. And like in previous seasons, some are so obvious and some have really obvious clues, and then other ones you just aren't even close to being right, and the clues are like the most obscure things that aren't even on the internet about these people, so you're like, how would I even have gotten that? And then there's the occasional person that I don't even know, so but overall it's still a lot of fun to kind of guess, and like the majority of people you would have heard of or recognize, the average person would know.
So I'm wondering, do you think, I'm just kind of talking this out, would it be better, I don't know if you'd be able to do it, but to watch the episode, but wait for the reveal, like don't have the reveal, and then we just watch the reveal together live and we'll get our live reaction?
I mean, I can do that, yeah.
Because, I think that could be kind of fun. Like, we can watch the whole show, take our notes, and then that last 2 minutes.
But do we know who's eliminated and just not
No, we didn't know who was eliminated until we watch it together next week, would say.
Yeah.
Do you want to give that a try? We can see.
Yeah, let's try it.
I thought it would just might be fun just to have the reveal, because I just watched the end of episode 3. And that reveal, I was like, I actually was kind of shocked. So it would have been fun to just be like, oh,
Exactly. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so we'll try doing that for the future. Okay, so if you've never watched The Masked Singer before, basically there's going to be celebrities that are going to be wearing a different costume, and they're going to be singing songs on stage. And then we have the 3 main hosts. So we have Jenny McCarthy, we have Nicole Scherzinger, and we have Robin Thicke and Ken Jeong are the 4 hosts, or the 4 judges. And they kind of guess who are behind the masks. It is hosted by Nick Cannon. So I wasn't sure if Nick Cannon was going to host, because he had a little bit of that, I believe it was anti-Semitism kind of comments. And he was pulled from a couple of other shows that he was working on. So I was surprised that he's still had it. But then I was like, well, it's also Fox. And so Fox is usually the to, the standards that they want to uphold or whatnot.
Yeah, so Nick went through an interesting time too, because when he was like the last year or 2 of him hosting the X Factor, he seemed, and like there was Mariah stuff going on, he seemed very, which I have her book and I will read it and I will report back what she says. But he seemed very like run down and tired and exhausted. And then in the first like season, maybe 2 of The Masked Singer, it was very much the same thing. And then, like you said, after he was caught up in that a little bit of controversy that wasn't really publicized all that much. I did question if he was going to come back for this, but they have him back. So
I really like him as the host. I think that one thing I was noticing is, he comes out always with like a mask on, and like he really just gets into it. And I really like people that don't take themselves that seriously.
I think he has a lot of fun with this, as opposed
Yeah.
to like on America's Got Talent. Like this, I feel like he likes doing and enjoys kind of being around these people, and he doesn't know who they are either. So I think it's like fun for everyone to play along and guess, and then sometimes he'll comment. So I don't know if which seasons you've seen that he's maybe have done this or not, but he'll say like, I knew it was you the moment you opened your mouth, or sometimes it's been someone that he's kind of close with, but they do keep it under wraps, and they like legitimately don't know who it is until they're now. Some of the judges, know who it is, but are told not to say anything only because of they've guessed early on. But as far as revealing, it's all under wraps. So yeah, which I like.
I definitely really like it. I'm wondering though, like with the judges specifically, do they get to see them perform beforehand or whatnot? Because sometimes they have some really good guesses with the clues that I'm like, how can you put that together in the moment? You had to have thought about
that. There's one of these episodes that we'll talk about. Jenny mispronounces Halsey and as a guess, and so I don't doubt for a second that the producers tell them who to guess, like as their fake guess. But when they reveal, okay, final guesses, who do you think it is? That's when I think they legitimately say who they actually think it is, versus like who they're made up. They're like, you say this person, because they need to make sure everyone's not like, oh, by the way, it's I can't say anyone because I don't want to spoil anything, but like, oh, by the way, it's whatever under that mask, and they all know it and it's really obvious. Then it kind of ruins it. So definitely told who to say initially, but then once the person takes off or is about to take off the mask, I think that's their true self, as far as like, or the true guess.
Right.
Yeah.
I do like the new addition that they're having to the show. So basically, the winner of the Masked Singer is going to get a golden mask trophy. But now they've introduced something new for the judges or the panel to win, and that's going to be the golden ear trophy. And so basically, right first guest, they put it in the vault. And whoever has the most like right answers from their first instinct first guess is going to win the golden ear trophy. I really like this because sometimes we're always like, I knew it, I guessed it, I knew it. And you're like, well, it's not on paper. I didn't see it. And so I like the fact that they have this like for these vault guesses.
Yeah, I do too. Because I do think that plays into their genuine opinion and speculation as to when it starts they're unaware of. So I like it as well. It's kind of like a fun little thing to have.
So they mentioned that, I'm assuming, okay, do you think this is for just group A or all the celebrities? But he says $398 million combined, 46 Grammy nominations, 3 world records, an Olympic gold medalist, and an Oscar nominee. Do you think that was just for, no, I guess it was for everybody actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, they usually make those claims for the whole cast, which actually can help, because as it gets revealed, you're like, wait a minute, we're still missing.
That's that.
Yeah. So it can come into play. It's good to kind of keep track of that if that's what you like doing. You're a little bit more, but see, my favorite reality show is The Mole. So this kind of is a little bit of like a whodunit kind of a situation, which is kind of what I'm totally into. So that's why it plays well into it.
I really like, I love solving mysteries. I love The Mole, obviously. And so getting back into it, because I was kind of like, oh, I don't want to like catch up on an episode. And then I was like watching, I'm like, why did it take me so long to get caught up here? This is like my favorite show. I forgot. Super fun.
I like rewind and like watch the clues again. And I'm like, what did I miss?
I did.
What did I miss? Let me write that down. What did I miss? Okay.
It's so frustrating though, because like sometimes I'm like, I could hear the voice. I know it. I could hear it. And then I almost get like a flash of who it is. And then it just kind of goes away. And I'm like, and it's like, it's so close sometimes. And then it goes away.
And to be fair, so what I'm doing for this is I'm not Googling, which I have in previous seasons, as to who collectively the internet thinks it is, and mostly right, but they have been wrong before as well. And because I usually do that, but I am Googling if I think it's someone, and then I want to try to connect the clues to that person. So yeah, that is happening.
I've definitely done that before, just being like, okay, well that's that clue and that's that clue. Like, let me see if this all leads up to who I think it is.
Yeah.
So I have done that before too. So I think that is definitely,
that's like your own investigation work, which is what we're here for. So it's good.
I mean, I can't just have. Why are they giving us the clues then if they don't want us to try to figure out who it is, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So first up, okay, so actually one thing else I wanted to mention is that I love the women on the judges panel, what they get to wear. And I think that's also really fun. And what I like about the show, it's like, it's not stuffy. They wear kind of a little more outlandish, costumey kind of clothing. And everybody just looks so great. And they all bring a very different element to how they critique. So both, the female and the male side of just having like the musical ear being Nicole and Robin Thicke, and then kind of like, the acting comedic side seems to be, well, Kim and Ken and Jenny. Ken is there just for the comic relief for some of the times, but at times he does give a decent guess.
Yeah, Ken's told to do the most ridiculous guesses ever, and then the best was, I'm not going to spoil because I don't know if you've seen the season, but there was a previous season where the person in the mask was a really close friend / co-star of his, and he had legitimately no idea. So it was really funny. But yeah, I think they're a good mix of people. And this is our first COVID season. So there's no actual live audience, which I thought was crazy. They cut away to some of these shots that are from previous seasons, or computer graphics or whatever that are done. And I mean, it's really convincing. And I forget that there's no live audience there. So
yeah, it definitely doesn't feel like an empty stage at all. I don't know if you watch Dancing with the Stars as well, but I do find that the stage feels a little bit empty. Like, there's something about just not having the audience there to kind of like just encapsulate like the people dancing on the dance floor.
Because you also feel as if, like with Dancing with the Stars, you're right, they're practically on the dance floor, but you feel as if like some of these performances are really kind of vibed, and their energy's worked up from the crowd. But because they're in a costume, we're not seeing all of this. So there isn't that disconnect for me with The Masked Singer. But there is, you're right, there is with Dancing with the Stars, because you can tell they're not as nervous as they would be with a room full of, 1,000 people or whatever, right? So, yeah.
But another thing too is that I find when performing in front of a live audience, especially dance, is you do get that energy from the crowd. It's actually what got me into performing in general, is like there's something that comes out of the energy from an audience that's like, I don't know, it's very addictive. And so it sucks, in my opinion, for these people not to have that experience, because there's something really thrilling about performing in front of a live audience.
But also, I thought that it's an opportunity for shyer people, although it's being broadcast, for millions to see. It's actually maybe an easier pill to swallow, where you're like, when you're pitching it and you're saying, hey, come in, it's just the crew and fellow contestants and a couple judges, no live audience. So, maybe that's where Anne was able, like, would she have done that? And hey, if there was a full audience there, maybe not, maybe, I don't know. So I was wondering, I'm like, maybe they were able to convince a few people this season with Dancing with the Stars to come on out.
Because then after, though, when they go on tour, and so if that happens again in the future, they're going to have to get over the fact, like, oh my God, I'm used to not having an audience, and then having like 5,000 people.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's, next year. I don't think that'll be this year.
Not 2020.
I don't think this whole, they'll skip all that for these people.
No way. Okay, so the first group, so this is group A. So how we're figuring that they're doing it, they're having a group A and a group B. They said that there's going to be 16 masked celebrities, but seeing what happened on episode 3, I think that Guest judges will also do like a masked celebrity performance. Breaking it down then that group A would have 6 people, group B would have 6 people, and then 4 masked guest judges. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen.
Yeah, which is less than previous years, but again, you know, they might be shooting for a shorter, you know, amount of episodes. I'm not quite sure because of COVID and whatnot. They don't want to run into like the holiday season or who knows, but
yeah, no, they'll finish right before actually because they started a couple weeks ago now.
yeah, so they might have had to, they might have been forced to kind of like only do actually 12 performers instead of, I think last year they did like, I don't know, 3 groups of like 5 or 6 or something. So there was more.
Okay. A little bit more.
4 groups?
I think they were going to do
there was more.
4. That's what I thought. 4. But no, I don't think so. So I think it's going to be 12 and then 4 guest judges is my guess. Okay, so the first masked singer that comes to the stage is the Sun. So for me, it seems like it's a woman. Seems not an older woman, so maybe 30s is kind of the age group that I was kind of picturing her. She had a lot of pep in her step, so she seems a little, you know, kind of fun, a little bit jokey. What are some of the clues that you might have recognized? She said gold member. Go ahead.
So gold member, actual card. There was, I mean, let's just, I'll go over the clues that I just picked up on and then we can discuss it. And maybe you've picked up on some more. She talked about being the center of the universe, a lot of planet references, whatnot. I mean, that may just be because she's decided to be the sun. But she did talk about seasons and like sprung into whatever, spring back to life, fall into depression. And there was a little bit of a pause there when she said fall. You know, frozen could mean winter. So there was, I was like, seasons are a thing. Seasons, planets, obviously, maybe that's because of that. They had the fun director gold member thing that we talked about. There was a planet going around in the first episode, and it was clearly Venus because there was Venus, Mars, and the Moon, and there was like a kiss to Venus, and then a Mickey Mouse image. The world and 2 trees became like a Mickey Mouse silhouette, as well as there was a cheetah in the background at one point. So, I mean, could mean I'm thinking I'm like definitely female, like you said, obviously. So, could be a former Mickey Mouse. You know, what are they called? Mouseketeers.
Mm-hmm.
Could be the Venus connection. I don't know just yet. They said that they were fell into depression, but I mean, again, previous season when like I won't ruin it for you, but a previous season when a very popular girl group member was on there, talked about kind of being not confident in the spotlight, and then they took off the mask, and I was like, what? I'm like, this is a huge group. I'm like, what are you talking about? So sometimes those like how they feel clues, I don't play into because I'm like, you can feel however you want to feel. Yeah. So what did you pick up on?
She also said sprung into existence, burns easily, bright-eyed, transformed into a ray of light. This is all interesting clues. Hold on, Jay Kwan's here. Hi, Jay Kwan. How are you? You were suggesting The Masked Singer, and we decided to do it. Have you watched the first 3 episodes? We are right now talking about episode 1, but we will talk about all of them to get up to date. I didn't really have anything more than that.
So, I mean, their guesses, if we want to go into that, were Nicole thought Catherine McPhee was her guess.
That's not her voice to me. I watched American Idol when Catherine McPhee was on it, and like her voice is, in my opinion, a little bit more kind of pure, a little bit more round, a little bit more.
Yeah, I also think that like, no offense, Catherine McPhee, but I think that after she had her television series, I don't know she's at that point into like I want to do the Masked Singer. I think she's still looking for more starring roles in TV and or film. So, but it also didn't sound like it to me either. And Jenny said Demi Lovato.
Jaquan, start watching now. Catch up.
I mean, you can put it on right now, Jaquan, and then let us know.
Catch up to episode 3.
Yeah, so Jenny said Demi Lovato. Doesn't sound like Demi Lovato to me. She's this very distinct voice. You know, yes, there's some overlapping, like, sure, depression and other stuff, but I don't know. Ken said Madonna. Like, that's one of the producer told him to say that of it. Like, it's ridiculous.
It's not Madonna for sure.
Not Madonna.
I didn't really like any of their guesses, personally. I was trying to think, like, okay, so is it going to be like Mickey Mouse Club person? So who's that going to be? Like Britney Spears? No. Christina Aguilera? No. Carrie Russell? They do mention that later episodes.
Yeah, and I looked into Carrie Russell, and I don't know, and she's had interviews about, like, thank God I don't have to sing. Like, I was a dancer, not a singer.
Yeah.
And the son's a good singer.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, not Carrie Russell to me either.
Yeah. So I didn't really have a guess for her. I felt that sometimes I heard some sort of southernness in the voice. Is that her? No, Popcorn. That's Popcorn. Never mind.
Yeah, but I mean, I heard a little something with the son, and I mean, I definitely thought, but I think this was by the 3rd episode that I thought that, so I'm not going to go into it right now. But the 1st episode, I really had no idea, and you know, just keeping in the back of my head, I think that the fact that Venus was kissed and that the Mickey Mouse thing, I think those are our 2 biggest clues going in, and then maybe the seasons.
Yeah, it was extreme seasons. Like,
yeah.
Okay, so put a pin in that one.
And then they showed us the first impression vault for the first time there, which we already talked about. But I do have to say, I love that element to it.
Too. I mean, I think we should do our first impression vault as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I would. I'm already like jaded, so I already know.
Yeah, I guess we can't really anymore. Well, kind of. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, so the next up is the giraffe, and it's just so funny seeing some of these costumes sometimes because they're just so dorky looking, and I'm like, these people are probably like cool guys, and they're just in these dorky costumes. But
so I wonder how much of a say they have, because I have heard people talk in the past where they've like requested certain things because of they don't want it being too hot, or they think that, you know, it would be interesting. I'm sure it's a collaborative effort because they're not going to be like, you're in this, and they're like, okay. No, they're celebrities. So I mean, but I do wonder how much of it really is influenced with what their preference is.
Well, it seems as though they kind of have to do with whatever their story is. Like, I just remember some of the other ones when it was revealed, it made sense who they decided to portray, like with the butterfly, like, you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. So sometimes it was part of their story. So I would say that it's a collaborative effort that kind of allows them to make these clues and make these things up. Like, I think they work together with the production team being like, let's create a storyline. Okay, what character do you want to be after?
Yeah, all the cool ones, like the guys who are like the cool guys, are all in those kind of like. I feel like every year they have like a whatchamacallit kind of whatever kind of a situation, and they all end up being kind of in that. So I'm sure it's collaborative.
This is a good question. Jaquan says, "Do you think a former winner would try to come back and win back to back?"
I think they absolutely, and they said in one episode it can't be someone because they've already been on the show, but. You know, I wouldn't rule that out. I definitely think they could have someone on the show, because remember how they always, there might be a spoiler alerts, plug your ears, but they always talked about someone being on the show, Sherry, and then she was, but like they talked about it at length for like a season or 2 or whatever, and then she was on the show. So it's like, you know, I can definitely see them playing into someone.
They're masked. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, unless, and especially if their voice is like, especially if it was maybe someone from the first season, maybe they weren't on it that long, and they change up their voice, perhaps. Who knows?
Well, and that's something that they do is they try to change up their voice a little bit so it's not as recognizable, but still good so that they will move forward further along in the competition. So I would like them to do that. Like it doesn't bother me because that's not what I'm enjoying about the show. I like trying to figure out who it is. It doesn't have to be someone different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
But the only thing is like the clues though might make us guess who it is right away. You know what I mean? Unless
so they would have to, but they do have like I said, they have clues that are so vague and so almost nothing. And you were like, oh yeah, that little dog in the corner. Well, growing up, I owned a beagle. And you're like, who knew that? Nobody. And you know what I mean? So so they could do one of those types of packages where the clues don't really mean anything or give away anything. So, but yeah, they could. So next is the giraffe. Yeah.
The giraffe.
Talked about roller coaster career.
Yeah.
Off to the races in the driver's seat. Music in his blood. There wasn't much for me that I picked up on, although, the song that he was doing was rapping, not singing really. You could hear some of it. But it was mostly rapping, which usually means that they can't sing that well.
I was thinking though, like, yes, they're rapping, like, oh, maybe they can't sing, but I was thinking that they were rapping to throw us off because, like, I could every once in a while, I'm like, I recognize that voice, kind of, like, I just kept on going on and off, but like in and out, and I was like, I don't know if I'm recognizing it or if I'm like thinking that I know what it sounds like as a singer. Like, I was really, really thrown off by the fact that they were rapping because I felt that they were probably a better singer than they were a rapper.
Yeah, I mean, he has a good tone to his voice.
Have we watched The Four? What's The Four, Jaquan? Don't get us excited about another show. I have too many on the docket. The Four.
I've never even heard of it.
Reality show, or is it a like real show, live television show? Yeah, he also said so the driver's seat, he says music in the blood, roller coaster career, butt of jokes. And I was like, I don't remember that. And reaches for the stars was something. Oh, that was kind of just like his entrance little quote.
Yeah, a lot of these ones were based off of kind of like how he feels again. And those ones are always like, I don't know, they could just be opinionated stuff. So it was hard for me. I didn't have a guess on this one at all. Although Ken rambled on and then guessed like Garth Brooks. No. Jenny guessed Travis Barker, and as soon as she said that, and then I was like, oh, maybe it is Travis Barker. So that was I was slowly becoming convinced that it was Travis Barker in this first episode.
I didn't know him well enough to know if it was him or not. So if it was him, I'd be like, oh, okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought how exactly, and I'm like, for me, it's not a recognizable voice, but like you've heard it, so I'm like that, and then the clues making sense a little bit, yeah. And then Robin said Vanilla Ice, which, again, to me, it wasn't the voice at all. So
I was thinking Aaron Carter or even Nick Carter. Well, I was like, no, it's not Nick Carter because he's more skinny. But I was like, maybe it's Aaron Carter because I'm like, the voice sounds familiar. I just like, but it's not a singer like that. I hear their voice all the time. Like I just recognize.
Yeah, Aaron Carter's really short, so him being the giraffe, I mean, they could be throwing us off because it could be someone who's not really that tall, but or near that tall. But yeah, I just was locked in with Travis once she said that.
Jaquan says it's a singing rapping competition, kind of like American Idol. P. Diddy and DJ Khaled were one of the judges.
Oh, I did. And Shariah is her name?
My mom watched it, actually.
Yeah, I did watch that.
My mom did, though. She told me about it.
Yeah. I watched it. I enjoyed it. And I think they've canceled it. So there was only like season 2 seasons, maybe 1. I don't know.
One of the only that I've heard of. I don't know if there was 2. I'll check. I can check that out. 1 season, I can do 1 and done.
The woman who was the rapper, cancer, she has cancer, or was dealing with her, something like along those lines. and I think it came back. She was my favorite, and she's on my Twitter. But yeah, but that I did like the 4 actually.
I didn't see it, but
Megan Trainor was a judge. Yeah, one of the judges.
she's just one of those people that I actually just don't know who she is, but she's very famous. You know what I mean?
Megan?
Mm-hmm. I know she's.
I remember like when her first song came out. Yeah, it was like 2014, something like that. Like when her first one that was bigger, and then she's married to the no longer a kid, but was a kid in like the Shark versus whatever that was. There was like a
I don't know.
no, not Sharknado, but there was a couple. He's like redhead. There was a couple of Spy Kids. Spy Kids. At one, yeah, Spy Kids, something like that. And there's a couple of them, and she's pregnant now as of this week. I think she announced last night.
There you go.
Anyway.
So wait, what was the song that the draft sang?
Oh, that's what I'm not doing, is writing down any of the songs, which I should do.
I don't think I could just see it though. I'm sure I wrote it down, but I
did not write any of the songs down. But he raps. That's all I wrote.
So yeah. Oh, he said drumming up success, and I was like, drums? What's happening here? So I really didn't know for sure, but I felt like it was somebody that I would recognize. Like, it wouldn't be like, oh, I didn't know who that was. Like, I felt like it was somebody that I knew it was going to be. So that's all I really had. Nick Carter or Aaron Carter were my guesses.
Sounds like he smokes as well. Has that little thing to his voice that I'm usually pretty good at recognizing smokers. And I would guess that he does smoke.
Huh.
And Aaron Carter does
smoke.
Oh,
he's saying, let's get it started.
Let's get it started. Yeah, that's right.
Na, 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 na. What is Jaquan saying here? Jaquan says, LOL, last year T-Pain. Whoa, I haven't watched last season yet.
It's okay. I've watched it. I'm not spoiling anything.
From the first time hearing his voice. Yeah, I probably would figure it out.
Yeah, T-Pain for me was big T-Pain fan. So I think, however, I don't know that I got it right away, but it would have been like second episode for sure. Yeah, it was one of the pretty obvious ones.
Okay, so next up was Popcorn. So Popcorn, I thought she was going to be Southern. I thought she was going to be Black.
No, I thought she was doing like a New York accent or Jersey accent or something along those lines.
Well, they had all those Sex and the City references, which is a New York-based show.
Yeah, and The Fish with Hoops. There were several city references in general.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of like getting in a cab, cars, those buildings, blah, blah, blah. So it was very, very city. Yeah, The Fish with Hoops, I was like, what does this mean? But, you know, there was a tiger. But yeah, and then when you heard her sing, it seems like a much more mature voice than I anticipated initially. And I was like, oh, okay. Then that to me means I probably won't know much personally about this woman.
Well, Shelton says Miss Popcorn if you're tasty. And there's also Janet Jackson says Miss Jackson if you're nasty.
Nasty, yeah.
So I'm wondering if there was she doesn't sound like a Jackson. So could it be somebody that influenced the Jacksons or something? So somebody maybe a little bit older that was their inspiration?
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I didn't know. Stay tuned, though, because I do have a guess, and I'm almost certain about it in another episode. But, yeah, Jenny said Tina Turner.
That was my guess. My guess was Tina Turner.
Which I was like, okay, all right. And again, I was like, could be, until the next episode. But and then Ken said, oh my God. He said Carol Baskin. Like
he's so silly.
Silly. It's just you're just waiting for him to hear like whatever ridiculous comment he's gonna say. And then Nicole and yeah, they usually just have 3 out of the 4 judges actually make a guess or what they edit so that we see. And then Nicole said Mary J. Blige. I know it's it's not Mary. It sounds way more mature, and yeah, I mean, didn't really feel any of those. Tina Turner was the best one of those guesses.
Oh, yeah, that was my guess because I was like, ooh, legs, like nice legs. That's what I was thinking when she first came out. Has a little bit of that growl, like that rasp in the voice. And so it seemed a little bit of someone more mature. So over 50 is what it sounded like, felt like. Talking about royalty being their friends, though, I was like, who would have that pedigree that would be hanging out with like the royals? So
yeah, but it's like it could mean royalty within like the king and queen of whatever, or a certain genre of something, right? So it's not it's probably that more so than anything else.
well, let's see Welcome to the Hood, and I was wondering how that would fit in.
I don't know.
And Vogue magazine, so they
I just wrote there was an apple with a bite in it, so again another New York reference. I didn't mention that earlier, but yeah, it's like definitely someone who has all these New York ties.
And he's got a career around love.
Yeah, I yeah. Again, we'll get back to it in another episode.
Okay.
Because I definitely have a guess, but it doesn't apply to episode 1. So.
So yeah, right now my guess is for her is Tina Turner. Now, Dragon is our next masked singer. I mean, I knew who Dragon was right off the bat. Like I did like Dragon.
I mean, we'll talk about the clues for a second, but like if you don't know who Dragon was, then you are definitely not in your 30s or 40s because I was raised with the Dragon for sure, in not only in the music industry but even in film, and I've seen him kind of take on a few roles there, but yeah, so I just wrote down like humid lair, outrageous costumes. He talked about his fire was once dangerous and now he's calmed down. There was weights, there was some free weights there, and Statue of Liberty. I mean, none of those really told me anything other than his voice.
Mama Knock You Out by LL Cool J.
Yeah, which was I mean, they know when they cast them that you're literally going to be you're going to know instantly who it is. So that's why these guesses are like
kind of like the flower of season 2. I was like, she's not even trying to make it sound like somebody different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and especially because I know that Nicole's worked with him, and so they're not trying. They knew it would happen. But Jenny said DMX. Ken said Michael Phelps, like, and then both Robin and Nicole, just off the first episode, said Busta, and so yeah, it's that I think that's pretty obvious for all of us that our guesses are Busta Rhymes would be my guess. Yes.
Well, like when I was listening to him sing, I was like, oh, I know that voice, and like I was trying to like I couldn't remember his name at the time. I was like, what's the nine? What's the dealio? Like I'm trying to figure out what the line of the song is. So I Googled like 9, what's the dealio? And then his song came up. I was like, yes, it's it, Busta Rhymes.
Oh my God, love Busta. Yeah, and he was in, what was it, Halloween H2O or something like that, or yeah. Anyway, it was pretty obvious to me. But moving on, because I don't think we have much to talk about more than that. The Dragon, it's pretty obvious. Snow Owls.
2 people. This is the first time they really do this, so having 2 people be masked together. What?
Genius. Love it.
Love it. Like I love when they look at each other and like.
I love it, and
Jonathan, look to your left. Yeah.
No, I absolutely love it, and I was like, oh, I never even thought that they would attempt something like this, and I'm just letting you know, I am no idea who these people are. I've been on a roller coaster ride with these guesses because I was like, I know who it is, and then I Googled a video of these 2 singing, and I'm like, that's it. That's the same song they sung. That's who it is. Convinced. And then I watched the next episode and hear them talk a little bit more, and I'm like, oh, it can't be them. And so anyway, I'm all over the place with the Snow Owls, but we did see, we saw Pearl. They talked about a family reunion and reuniting, which kind of suggests that they're not a couple, but that they are related. So probably like a brother and sister situation, perhaps. There was a jam a lot sign. There's reference to him being a prankster, a wise guy. A sign that said Magnolia and Coral Cannon. There's references to Let It Snow, other Christmas references.
Your Christmas extra special. Do
Yeah.
they like Christmas movies together? The only thing is that, like, I'm wondering if there are a couple that like were together and then they broke up and then got back together, as opposed to them being like maybe
like a divorced like couple, like
right?
yeah, I don't know. And it's like, and then you hear them talk, and I wrote not young.
Yeah, they're not young. He's a prankster, which is like, Like, could it be? I'm just it's just me throwing out a name right now, but could it be their brother and sister, but like Julia Roberts and like Eric Roberts? Like, could it be like something as outlandish as that, or is she too famous?
I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't. Eric would do it. I don't think Julia would, but I mean, there was a bit of a twang, right? This is what you referenced earlier, so there is a bit of a twang as well.
Coral Canyon, so maybe they have like public fights that they've had, or they're talking about LA, Laurel Canyon.
And it was Magnolia too. Magnolia, like the crossroads were Magnolia, and I'm like, I don't get that reference, but
could it be the movie though? So that's in that movie was
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise and like Julianne Moore and William H. Macy and
it's been years. I don't
Would
know.
it have been like William H. Macy and Sarah Jessica Parker? I don't know. I'm thinking like State and Maine. I don't even know.
No, I mean, like, William H. Macy's, I don't know that he would do this with all of his wife's issues right now and all that kind of stuff. He's very nice, and he pronounced my name right at an award ceremony once. So
did you cast Joanne's movie?
No, he was announcing the winner for one RDO award for the CSAs, and I happened to win that one. So yes, he pronounced my name Jonathan Oliveira. I was like, oh, because David Hyde Pierce, you didn't say my name right. You didn't say my name right that year. But William H. Macy said it right, and I appreciate that. But I would love it to be him, absolutely. But I don't know. I really don't know. So let me tell you. I heard. Oh, maybe we should go into the guesses first.
Here, hold on. Brazil's at a doctor appointment button. But hi, Brazil. Did you watch? I know I gave you homework to try to catch up. We're only still in the first episode, so I think we'll probably be chatting still for another half an hour, maybe.
Brazil, you have to start weighing in on these things because I want your opinion.
Well, and she's not a fan, and she was very, very anti-watching this, and she was immediately put off by the fact that, you know, it seems as though they weren't honoring social distancing in the beginning, and so she was already was ready to not enjoy the episode.
Well, what I can tell you about that is, like with anything that's filming right now, is that you're all COVID tested multiple times a week, maybe even every second day, and you're wearing a mask up until you. As soon as the camera's on, you film, and then as soon as it's over, you put your mask back on and whatnot. So
when you thinking about the studio audience, because it makes it.
Oh yeah, they're fake, obviously, but there's no studio audience. But also, if you think that like Nick's with those men in black and they're too close together, I promise you, those 5 people are all tested every couple days. I'm sure of it, and they are all supposed to be bubbled as well during this period of time. So. I'm sure they shot this because they all pre-shoot, right? So I'm sure they shot this as tight as possible and kept everyone as isolated as possible. This is the type of show that can do that. which is nice because you don't have to be on a live schedule. But I'm with you because I'm the boy in the bubble myself over here. But no, it's as safe as it can be, and a lot of people who go on sets feel very, very safe and comfortable for the most part, which is nice to hear. And we haven't had many things shut down or anything like that. But
I had no idea about the snow owls. I don't know.
the guesses are Robin said Amy Grant and Vince Gill. I don't know them.
I mean, I feel like I know who Amy Grant is. She has like brown hair, no?
Yeah, I think I looked them up afterwards, and I was like, I don't really know them. So, Jenny said Donnie and Marie. Now Donnie's been on the show. I don't think it's him. So that's kind of to reference your like, they're like he's been on the show, and then she was like maybe he'll come back. So I mean, that is a little hint to that. So maybe that is a little seed planted in the edit for someone in this season, perhaps. Maybe you're right, but it just doesn't sound like him to me at all.
Mm-hmm.
And he was very, as the peacock, very playful, like the snow owl is one of them, but over the top. And Ken said Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara.
I mean, it's an okay guess, though. I mean, I like it better than some of his other guesses. But no, I don't think so.
But it's not. But shout out to Schitt's Creek that shoots in Toronto here. So, or did. And yeah, I mean, I heard, now I will speculate on this one, and this was probably the only time I'll do this, because I really don't think it's them now. But I heard that people were thinking it was Julianne and Derek Huff. Brother and sister. And I went and I Googled.
Let me think.
And I saw them sing the exact same. What is it? They sang Say Something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I went and they were singing that exact same song, and it sounded just like them. And then I watched the next episode that the Snow Owls were in and heard them talk, and I'm like, absolutely 100% not them. It's not them. It's not them. But such a good guess. And there's no way that woman is. Julianne has this like young kind of, almost like Nicole from Big Brother, like a little whiny, kind of a voice, and this woman had a much more mature, completely different sounding.
Yeah, I mean, I think as people to be on the show as a duo, they're a good guess. But with the voices that I'm hearing,
and they sang that song, and singing it kind of sounds like them, but talking no.
Yeah. I mean, I'll take a look at that, but then I don't see how Let It Snow, like, did they do any Christmas specials? No, there was no references to dancing. I mean, I know that might be a little bit of a giveaway, but like, there was just no reference to that. They did have family issues, though. If I'm not mistaken, they moved in with their dance teacher and from their family, and so that's why they were able to study and train in dance for so intensely.
Well, she talked about like this. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's some clues that you can be like, maybe, but then other ones not really. And it didn't pick up on any sort of clues that, like you said, there's no dancing. There's no indication of like when she became a judge or the issues that she was having with her husband this year and how they've like reconciled a little bit, and her opening up about her sexuality, and when it comes down to it, it's just not her voice.
Yeah. So Jake, I want to ask you, we have a certain celebrity that we would like to see on the show. Anybody super famous? Like,
like blow your socks off when they take off their mask, because
give me a Meryl Streep. Like, give me a Denzel Washington. Give me someone so famous that I would just be like, I can't believe you're wearing that duck outfit. Like, you know what I mean? I need to see someone really famous.
I want to see someone come on to promote a movie that they're about to do. Like, give me, like a like a duo, like Laura Dern and Sam Neill or whatever for Jurassic Park, like that's up and coming, or I don't know. Just give me like some sort of like, they don't have to be super famous for me, but just like some sort of really cool to see. You wouldn't think that they would do this, and it can be in conjunction with promoting some sort of movie.
Sure. I don't mind.
Why not?
It doesn't bother me.
Doesn't
But
bother
like
me either.
when they're together, like wouldn't Brad and Angelina be like the best snow owls you've ever seen? Like,
Oh yeah. If I was super famous, which I hope never to be, I would 100% like do like one thing, and this would probably be it. I'd be like, let's do it. Let's do it.
I would love to be on The Masked Singer. Like that would be. I mean, I also would love to be on Dancing with the Stars as well, but I think The Masked Singer is funnier.
Yeah.
Dance with the Stars, it has a little bit more to do with your celebrity and your stardom, and then like there'd be a little more pressure. I think with Masked Singers, like you just go out like in this stupid costume and like nobody cares. They're trying to guess your voice, and that's it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of, I want to see more comedians on the show. Some who can I mean, they're getting really good with getting people who can sing really well.
I like that better. I like being surprised by people that have talents I didn't really know about.
Yeah. And so that's key to me, is finding people who can actually sing, but maybe they're not known for it. So I don't mind having a bad singer or two, for sure. But I think
they just do that for the reveal. Like I'm sure that like Busta Rhymes got his 50 grand to come and participate in the show for a week or whatever.
Exactly.
And he knew his voice was going to be very distinct, but it was a good get. Like
yeah.
So I've been thinking about actors, but now maybe even singers. Which singers would I like to see on there?
I want to see more group singers, like, pick a member from some sort of like S Club 7. I don't know, someone.
Well, I want to know them for sure. I mean, I know S Club. It ain't no party like an S Club party.
You know S Club 7, yeah. You tell me you can't, if John took off his mask, you wouldn't be like, oh my God, that's the guy from S Club 7.
No, I don't. I wouldn't remember that well. But I would love to see, like, he's not in One Direction anymore, but Harry Styles, I know they sang his song, but he's so cute. I would love to hear him sing something on The Masked Singer.
Oh my God, he's too big of a star right now, so wouldn't happen. But like,
I was thinking last season that somebody was Paris Hilton, or season 2, sorry. I was like, that would be interesting to see Paris sing, because she has all of her albums, but like everybody always judges her voice. Jake One says, Dad, Nick Cannon is the host, but his music career has been trying to have it pop off for over a decade. This can be his chance. I mean, maybe.
What is it, like a Pokeroo situation? Like he disappears from stage and then comes back out?
That'd be so good.
They're like, Nick, the first episode they should do of a season where it's like, Nick can't make it today. So we have, and he just doesn't do that day.
Host. And I mean, we'd figure it out probably right away. But like that'd be super fun if it was like like the judge or the host be Pokeroo style. I mean, you guys probably don't know what Pokeroo is because I'm thinking that it actually just might be a Canadian thing.
Oh, it is a Canadian thing, totally a Canadian thing.
So
it's
what
sorry, go ahead.
Is it was on a Canadian TV show that was for kids, and it was Jeff, right? And like, actually, explain it to me.
So they would always have 2 hosts and some kids, and they'd be doing an activity, and they would have one of the hosts disappear essentially, and then someone dressed up in a big, like a Masked Singer costume, Pokeroo, come in and then interact with them somehow. They wouldn't, speak or anything, and then Pokeroo would go, and then that second host would come back.
What?
And he's like, oh, you just missed, Pokeroo. Yeah.
So that would actually be really fun. A fun part of the show, but they can only do it probably once,
Yeah. I'm sure they can work stuff out. I feel like they have a really good team on that show. Like it's good production. It's good, like clues. It's good, acquiring of celebrities. And
like the first episode, like, okay, she couldn't be here this episode. She's going to be alternating episodes. And she did like, one.
Yeah.
I don't know. That'd be fun.
It would be.
That would be fun. Okay, so where are we at here? We're done pretty much with the episode.
Done episode 1. We did all our guesses.
And the least amount of votes is, so everybody votes in the audience or at home.
Home audience, yeah.
The home audience. And whoever gets the lowest votes doesn't get to move on to the next week. And so I think it was because everybody knew who the voice was. They just didn't vote for him. So Busta Rhymes, Dragon,
Yeah.
Dragon loses, and the trope of take it off. You see him and struggling with Nick Cannon, take it off. So long they had to do this, and it's like, dum da dum. Who are you?
And it's like Buster sweating profusely. They must be really. It must be really hot in there. I'd hate it, but I'm so glad he did it. It was so obvious, but again, like we said, for like a one-off, like first episode, first reveal kind of a thing. Absolutely, yeah. So I enjoyed it
too. So episode 2 happens, and we have 6 new celebrities, masked singers. And first up, they have crocodile. So it's a pink crocodile, a shiny pink crocodile. So this crocodile grew up in Hollywood, apparently.
Yeah.
There was a fish and a pineapple with an Italian flag.
Yeah.
Something about hidden talents. There was arrows pointing to a hotel, and yeah, that's all I wrote down. And I put they saying "It's my life."
He talks about crooning, but I mean that might just be reference to singing with the rhyming of what he was saying. He also said "happy in water."
Has a skin.
But I recognize this voice.
Really?
You can't convince me otherwise. What? I know who the crocodile is.
Okay, wait. So what were the judges' picks? Who did the judges think it was going to be?
So Ken thought it was John Hamm.
Okay.
Why are you even saying Ken's? But Nicole thought it was Nick Lachey because she was feeling like boy band vibes. She's right, by the way, as far as I'm concerned. But it's not Nick Lachey, but she's right as far as it's a boy bander. And then Robin also was kind of feeling the same thing because he went with Donnie Wahlberg, which they have been suggesting since like season 1, which is Jenny's husband. Yeah, it's to me, it's none of those people. And I think I know who it is. But do you have any guesses or any suggestions?
I was like, I don't know, Eminem. I had no idea. I was like, I didn't have an inkling. I didn't have a guess. I was like, Eminem obviously didn't grow up in Hollywood, so that's just completely out of the running. I just was like, question mark. If you're leaning towards like boy band,
I am.
It's not Justin Timberlake.
No.
It's not Joey Fatone.
No.
It's not. Well, it's not anybody from NSYNC. I don't think actually. I don't think it's anybody from.
Correct.
Backstreet Boys either.
I think it is.
Wait, Backstreet Boys. Well, AJ is already on Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, and I don't think it's him.
Who else is on?
Just think of who's had struggles growing up, issues, family issues.
Oh, so I forget his name though, but his brother's in whatchamacallit?
I think it's Nick Carter to me. It sounds exactly like Nick Carter.
Nick Carter now.
I think it's Nick Carter. This one, yeah. So Crocodile to me is like, listen, I don't know if Nick Carter is Italian. I have no idea. I didn't look it up either. But definitely I watched the show that they were on, the Carter, I'm going to say Carter Family Values. I don't think that's what it was called, but and they had their sister die and their parents they've had such issues with.
Well, like Aaron Carter just like tattooed his face.
Oh, he's tattooed all his face. He's like,
I think that he has a restraining order against his brothers, actually.
Yeah, exactly. There's been big issues with that. So there's always been fights and having thick skin. And I mean,
pineapple, explain that one for me.
I don't know. So that I was thinking could be a number of things. I mean, I know Nick Carter's favorite food is pizza. Maybe he likes pineapple on pizza.
Like
maybe he likes sardines. I don't know.
That's how he came through with John Hamm, was with pineapple on pizza that goes well with ham. That's why it's John Hamm.
Well, that was one extra step that I'm not making. I'm just purely going by the voice, and to me, and I've been wrong many times, and I'll be wrong tonight about someone else too. But um, to me, that sounds so much like Nick Carter, and I was like, when he came in, he was very like light on his feet, like he could dance and stuff, and Nicole made reference to that, and I feel like there was a rainbow in there too. They have definitely a gay following, and yeah, I don't know. It just seemed to me that it's him. Again, can be totally wrong, but I'm convinced right
I'm
now.
gonna need another week to be able to get like deeper into the analysis of the crocodile. I don't believe that it's him because I would have recognized the voice. I feel like to be him, but I'm going to listen the next time with maybe having that voice in mind or that person in mind to see
Yeah.
like if it matches up for
See
me.
what you think. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so next up we have Baby Alien, and I think this was like the hardest one out of everybody so far. Like,
I mean,
yeah,
they won an Emmy for something. Was it costumes or whatever? Because I'm like, they need to. But I heard that they won an Emmy for something. But these costumes are just amazing, and like who comes up with the ideas and stuff, it's fantastic.
so Cream of the Crop Circle. He has other passions, being the puppet master. He sings Faith, which is George Michael. And I only have a guess, so I didn't write down that much. What?
So some of the other clues for Baby Animal, there was a rebirth, stuck in second gear, which
Right.
is a reference
His
that
friends.
was brought up later. Yeah, potentially Friends theme. Vampire State, which was brought up in the show that I think Ken focused on in the background. They talked about being on a Tony Awards stage, and there was a Liberty Bell, which is reference to potentially Philadelphia. And he said that he was on theater every week. So I'm assuming that has to do with like Broadway or stage or whatever. And if you paused and looked when there was a Liberty Bell, there was also a turtle with a ninja, like a little like ninja star in its thing. So I'm thinking Ninja Turtle. Um, I'm not necessarily going anywhere with that, but but I was like, that has to be Ninja Turtle reference, right? Like, how is it not?
I mean, maybe it is, but okay. But the only guess that I came up with, and it was actually before they suggested it, but my first guess was David Schwimmer. That was the kind of goofiness that he acts sometimes. I feel like he has done something on Broadway recently. He was trying to do some serious work, I believe. Serious. The second gear would be in the Friends reference. I just felt that doing something silly like that was more him and not necessarily the same humor that what's the other guy's name, Matt LeBlanc or the other guy would have tried to do. So I felt that I heard David Schwimmer's voice in there.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Maybe David to me is a little bit more kind of nasally. I don't know how to describe it, but it wasn't his voice to me. And I went on a little journey with this. So Jenny thought it was Ralph Macchio. Ken thought it was Freddie Prinze Jr. because of the steak thing, perhaps. And then, yeah, Nicole thought it was David Schwimmer. I was kind of wanting to go with Ken, the steak thing, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, she's married to Freddie Prinze Jr. So I was like, but what if we don't look at that and we look at other people on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like a David Boreanaz or a Seth Green? I think it sounds the most similar to Seth Green, and I looked up if Seth Green sings, and he does. And because he's shorter, I was like, maybe they don't want to give it away, and they put him in this baby alien costume. And he does a lot of voice work as well.
Is Seth Green a Ninja Turtle?
I don't think so. And I don't think he's been on Broadway either or done any theater. But so I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just saying the voice to me is more that. But I need to figure out who has the Ninja Turtle reference, who has the theater reference, because that was very strong. And a Philadelphia. Oh, Seth Green is born in Philadelphia, by the way.
Okay. Okay.
I did look it up.
Okay, wait, let's see where David Schwimmer is born. Hold on.
And yeah, so and then so Philadelphia and Vampire Steak and Who It Sounds Like could be Seth Green. I have no idea if Seth Green's ever voiced a Ninja Turtle, but he does a lot of voice work, so maybe. Be interesting to see if there's more references going forward.
He was born in New York.
Yeah, that Liberty Bell and Ninja Turtle were right next to each other. So
let's do like one last thing. Ninja Turtle, David Schwimmer.
I know in the latest movies it was like I know who voiced them, and I looked into them, and none of them did. None of them were like grew up in Philadelphia or whatever. David Boreanaz wasn't born in Philadelphia, but moved to Philadelphia.
Whoa,
he's never done theater.
Hold up. That turned out to be David Schwimmer actually did the voice of Donatello.
Donatello, there's a Ninja Turtle reference. Maybe it is. Maybe it is David Schwimmer.
I mean, I don't know, but we'll soon find out. I mean, I love that it's David Schwimmer. I think that's very funny. But definitely the most challenging one to figure out, just because you can't see how they walk and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But it's so hard to tell. But it also looks like their feet were on the ground, if you could see, because you could see their feet kind of under a little bit. It was like a skirt almost. And I'm like, I'm sure they're sitting, but it doesn't seem that tall anyway. So I'm like, I don't really know. I don't know. It's tough. But I think if you can piece together the Broadway, and didn't they mention David Schwimmer has a theater company or something like that?
Let's see.
I thought he had his own theater company. Nicole was saying. So he has the Ninja Turtle reference, if he has theater reference, and then we need to tie in Philadelphia somehow or Liberty Bell somehow. But the Friends theme was there, so that's like 3 hints already. Although to me it doesn't sound like it. He has a lot of hints that are kind of guiding you towards that.
He's been on Broadway.
Maybe you're right.
I don't know. We'll soon find out. Yeah, David Schwimmer. He's on Broadway.com. I didn't read it all properly, so I'll do a little more deep dive
for
the next episode.
Yeah, we've only seen these guys once now, so it's like first impressions. But the next episode I should be these same groupings, like the 4th episode. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
A little bit better because there'll be a few more clues. We'll hear them sing again in a different song probably, and you might be able to hear a little like different ways that they pronounce things or say things. So
yeah,
Seahorse is next. Melodramatic, emotional queen is references. It seemed like she had a southern accent.
I thought that said Emotion Ocean.
Oh, it does.
Okay, I was like Emotion Queen. Yeah, Emotion Ocean.
It does say Emotion Ocean, but
I think the biggest hint here, and I don't think there were many. I think the biggest hint here was the punch in to because it had a wide shot and then it punched into the 4 teacups in front of 2 poodles, 1 dove, and 1 very seemingly pride-colored frog. And I was like, is this a person from like a group? And that there's 4 groups, and then like, why would 2 be poodles? One's like this frog that with pride colors, so like LGBTQ community, and then one's like a white dove. I'm like, huh. So I think it might be a girl from a group of 4.
What groups are there though? I mean, they've already
so many
laid out girls.
Yeah, but there's like so many obscure groups too, right? So
I mean, I would love it to be, I don't remember the voice at all right now, but if it's like Aubrey O'Day or something like that, like give me someone I know at least.
Yeah, I was, for a second, I was like, Emotion. I'm like, Emotions is one of my favorite songs from Destiny's Child, when they redid that song. But Michelle's already been on the show.
Exactly, and Kelly is pregnant.
It doesn't sound like Kelly either. So
No.
Beyonce, is that what you're saying? No. But it's yeah. So I was like, okay.
No.
But I think that was our biggest clue. So whatever that means, I think the punch into the 4 teacups with the 2 poodles, the dove, and the colorful frog. I think that's what our main takeaway should be. So I don't know, but I don't know. Jenny said her guess was Halsey, and I think this is proof that the producers give them what to say because she didn't even know. She said like Halsey or something like that, and then they joked about kind of her not pronouncing things.
What was her accent though? Maybe the one that you're talking about is her husband. Maybe it is him.
Who?
Maybe
What? Who's Johnny?
From Philadelphia?
Oh, she's from Boston.
Oh,
yeah.
Accent. Okay. Never mind.
And then Robin said BB Rexa, and then they kind of shot that down real quick. And then Nicole said Haley Steinfeld from like True Grit. What?
I don't know that voice.
Yeah, I mean she's had I don't know that voice very well either. I mean I know her as an actor and a singer, but not well enough.
Hi, Blaine. Yes, it's me again, doing the Masked Singer. And then I'm going to talk to Michelle tonight to figure out what season, or actually maybe Jonathan can give us a heads up on, we're trying to figure out what old season we should recap next for the challenge or the Real World versus Road Rules.
Oh, I don't know what you've done so far. But I mean,
so far, the duel.
Can you do a season with, gosh, like, definitely like, you should do like an old school one for sure.
Yeah, the duel's episode is season 13.
But like, what's her name? Evelyn? No, Evelyn?
She's like kind of scrappy, small.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like her.
For first season.
Do one with her.
Done.
Do one with the one she wins. But anyway.
So yeah, Seahorse, I didn't really have any guesses. They said The Only Girl, which I don't know the song. There's reference of OK Corral and being shy. I had no guesses. I just left it. I just left pretty much everything on Group B. I didn't have any distinct guesses.
Yeah. So I mean, Haley Steinfeld, sure, it's a half decent guess. Again, you know, I remember when she was kind of like, I think her biggest thing was True Grit. I remember doing a search for that myself in my industry, and so I definitely know her from that, and that kind of goes with the theme of kind of, you know, the thing, and she's a great singer, but I don't know what that would be in reference to as far as anything else, like the teacups, the poodles, anything of that. So, I mean, I don't really know. Didn't have a guess either.
So next up is whatchamacallit. And I guess I feel like it's going to be like, it's similar to Thingamajig. I was like, didn't they just have this last one? Oh, no, it's Thingamajig, not whatchamacallit. And I was like,
yeah, I mean, I feel like they've had a whatchamacallit before too. And like, I don't know. It's like, you know how they have like a Mrs. Thingamajig and then, anyway. But I mean, to me, it screams right away before we even get into the clues. Like, this is an athlete that I don't know who this is. I don't know sports.
It is an athlete it seems as though they've been on Dancing with the Stars because that was in the
which can narrow it down. He was literally Dancing with the Stars. Yeah. Swing from the Keys.
He sounded black to me.
There was a Black Panther in the background when they were swinging with the keys.
Oh,
there was one. Yeah.
I wonder if that's a reference to being in the movie, or maybe their partners in the movie, or. Maybe. So yeah, I thought the voice was kind of sexy. I like the voice.
Okay.
He's saying "I Wish." I don't remember the song now, but.
He talked about like not being in the let others taking the spotlight. So I feel like you could be on a basketball team where like someone else is the star and you're kind of second or third to that, really. So definitely I won't know who this person is. And then just made references to like candy bars and bees, but that might have been just rhyming with the what they were saying. So I think it's an athlete. I think it's very well could be a basketball person.
That's been on the Stars.
I'm not going to know who they are. So
Well, you might know them if they've been on Dancing with the Stars. You will know them from that.
Yeah, I might know their face. I still won't know their name because I fast forward those ones. I'm like, I don't know you, and you're stiff.
What about
Fast
the
forward.
one that won? He was football though, not basketball.
Yeah, football usually are a little bit lighter on their feet. I feel like they're a little bit more,
A little less tall.
Yeah, that too, right?
So I had no guess. Did they have guesses for who it was? I mean, I felt no. I didn't write it down.
No.
So next up we had the serpent. I wrote down Caribbean medicine and musicology. No, Caribbean and then medicine and musicology were the two little like directions or something in the I think it was in the library. There was a junior, a senior, so there was a serpent senior. I said definitely this person is black. Bought it, and his dad apparently bought him a ticket towards his success.
So I don't have notes for this one or the next one. I have notes for the next episode entirely, but these two I missed. But I did watch it last week, I think, and love the costume and the moving kind of elements there. I think it's fantastic.
Jerry Rice or Michael Irvin. I don't know what they sound like.
Or whatchamacallit?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'll take your word for it. Those people
and Blaine is commenting on the challenge. So the Gauntlet 3 would be a good one. It's season 15. It has Evelyn, Kevin, Kenny, Casey, Coral Bananas. Oh, this is pretty good. Tori Brad. Is that what you're trying to fall in love? Robin, and DM. That sounds pretty good.
Oh, DM. I still get upset over DM.
That's a pretty good one. I'm going to pitch that to Michelle and see if she's into it. But that's a pretty good roster.
Coral? Yeah. Oh, my God. Love all those people.
I mean, I might also want the one with Coral and The Miz, too. Like, I don't know. Okay, that's like right now. That's our runner-up. Our maybe our thought process will be season 15. That should be fun. That's for the challenge, guys. So we're gonna review the challenge. Like we'll start a new season of an old episode or an old season next week. So the serpent. Do you remember who you thought it was?
I didn't have any guesses that I can remember.
Honestly, this whole group, I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, this is a lot harder for me. This group too. I mean, other than like, I was convinced about Nick Carter, but then it went downhill. I was like, I don't know anyone else's.
So lastly, that is the gremlin. The clues are true romantic, loves animals, loves to cook, stand by me.
Yeah, clearly can't sing a lick, but this was again one of those clue packages that you knew wasn't going to give you much, but there was I didn't write it down, but there's very distinct like kind of was there like fighting references or boxing or
this is like
there's the wrestler one, right?
Wrestler.
I was like, who's in the movie? The wrestler. So as I was watching it, I was like, wait a minute, I know who this is. And then the fact that he couldn't sing actually made me double think that. You think twice, because I was like, I'm like, well, I feel like that Mickey Rourke should be able to sing a little bit, you would think, maybe, perhaps. But no, he's like a weirdo. And has he done like drugs for many years and is messed up? I don't know
what happened to him.
Yeah.
But Jaquan was saying that they're both former football players that did Dance with the Stars. But
I like Jerry Rice on Dancing with the Stars. You're right. I did love him.
I did know that. I just don't know what their voices are well enough for me to be able to picture them being whatchamacallit. You know what I mean? Like Jerry Rice, I'd have to listen again with him in mind. But
isn't Jerry Rice a little bit like shorter, stockier kind of?
No,
am I misremembering?
I'd say like proportionate tall.
Is he? Okay, I'm misremembering. I don't know. Again, don't know my sports, so.
Maybe I'll find a picture for you. One sec.
What? Oh, I'm thinking of someone else, but I did like Jerry Rice a lot, and I did watch that season. Yeah.
Well, you watched every season. Is there a season that you didn't watch? Come on.
There is for Dancing with the Stars. I stopped watching for the only show ever that I've stopped watching for a couple seasons because when they would have like 10-hour shows that are so drawn out and boring, and then they started with a bunch of celebrities that I had no idea who they were, and they still do half of them. I was like, and I was really busy at the time, so I was like, I'll skip.
Here, I'll show you what he looks like. Show you.
But back when Jerry Rice was on it and some of these other people, I was paying attention to all of the. Yeah, you're right. I was thinking of someone else who was shorter, but I did like Jerry Rice a lot.
But as much as you like the Gremlin, now the Gremlin, like I spoiled myself by accident because I was looking for a graphic, and so I just like searched the Masked Singer, and it just like basically the clip is just like taking off the mask. Like I was like, what?
Yeah.
I know that like it's my own fault if you don't watch something, especially that has like a big reveal like this right away within the first 24 hours. Like chances are you're gonna get spoiled. But I was trying hard not to get spoiled, and like it happened to me twice. So I was just trying to find a graphic, and I was like, oh damn it, I'm not gonna look for the Masked Singer stuff anymore.
You can't type it in. Yeah, can't type it in.
It ruined it for me. But then what ended up happening was maybe you can explain it to me actually. Why did the Gremlin take off his mask when he wasn't supposed to?
Because he's messed up in the head. Like I definitely think it's one of those ones where they're like, you'll come on one episode, this is what you do. And I know for some actors as well who are, crazy, which I think he is it's probably something that they promised him, just come on one episode, who cares? Like, don't even worry about following the rules or anything.
Had to have the vote.
And no, I think that was kind of
Planned?
Yeah, I think it was planned, and it was just he just did whatever he kind of wanted to do, but at the same time he knew he was only coming on for one episode, so he's like, yeah, take it off now, it's fine. Yeah, I definitely think it was planned. I definitely think that he was paid whatever fee to go on one episode. Clearly he can't sing. He's not going to go up there week after week, cringing like us cringing our way through his songs. I mean, it's not going to happen. He almost didn't sing at the end. That's why Nick had to do it with him. Yeah, it was very obvious that was kind of more of a stunt thing.
Yeah, I could see that. I could also see him like just being confused that like, yes, he's going to only do one episode, but like he's going to be voted by the audience as
yeah. And then him just doing what he wants. Yeah, I can see that too. But I thought that it was like an interesting get for sure, and I like that they had him on the show. And I mean, outside of the clues, I didn't know who it was if I was just basing it on the crappy singing. But the clues were kind of obvious.
So it was Mickey Rourke, if you guys are aware of him. So he was the star. So we can cross it off him being the Oscar nominee because he was nominated for an Oscar in The Wrestler a couple of years ago. And so at least we can narrow down to like, I don't know, an Olympic athlete now. Like, I don't know.
No more Oscar nominees.
No more Oscar nominees.
That was your one.
The musicians are still around. And
yeah.
Olympic gold medalist, huh?
Yeah, see, I'm not going to know that person either, so I'm just like...
Is that why you're guessing Michael Phelps?
Right. I'm just like, whoever that is, I'm not going to know them. I don't watch the Olympics. So...
Don't shake quads. You're silly. Sally for next season. Sally's not famous enough for that, I don't think. I mean, maybe in a couple seasons, Sally can get there. But I think
there's like, that's definitely like all the older generation, like, who is this person?
Don't worry, Blade. It's okay. We all love all reality TV and we watch it all, so we understand when things get convoluted.
We'll mix and match, Blaine. But also watch The Masked Singer and comment along.
Absolutely. Yeah. So what we're thinking of doing is watching like 90% of the episode and then saving the reveal to do it all together live when we come live on Fridays. So tell us what you think about that idea. I think it's actually kind of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
We still have one more episode.
Blah, blah. Say again?
We still have one more episode.
I know. So episode 3. So the Robin comes out, and it wasn't a full costume. It was someone dancing around with a picture of Robin. What's his last name again? Thick. And just dancing to a couple of his songs, singing and dancing to a couple of his songs. Now, I knew who it was right away. I guess I know this person's neck and like back of his head because it's just a mask that was just sitting on his face like this. I recognize the ear and the back of the head, and so I'm like, oh, it's a Talk Soup guy. It's a Talk Soup guy. So I'm like Googling what's the Talk Soup guy's name, and like as I brought it up, like that's when they said it, like from the judges. So I did guess that one.
Yeah, I mean he's guest judged on that show before. So as soon as he came out, I was like, that's Joel McHale. It's pretty obvious, but still fun. I like how they do little things like that. I don't think it was really meant for you to wonder who it is, other than it's like more jokey. But again, I kind of like that kind of stuff, you know.
I didn't think that I would know who it was. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, who's this person? And then I was like, oh no, it's like top like
total Joel McHale. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a nice little surprise having him on, but I enjoy that.
Blaine says I've never watched it, but I do watch Dancing with the Stars. Honestly, Blaine, like it's really fun. I'm finding it more enjoyable than Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, Dancing with the Stars is slow. This is faster and fun.
And you're only 3 episodes behind. And so like, even just watching those really quickly, like taking 2 hours out of your night, watch and catch up. Like it's worth it. It's really fun. Like it's just silly fun.
Silly, yeah. It's good.
So silly.
Okay, so we had in episode 3. Beyond that, do you want to start with the first person?
Yeah, Popcorn was first.
Who sang? Oh, I did write one song down. Oh no, I didn't. I didn't write the song down.
Falling. And so in her package, she talks about before her package that she loves flirting with Nick. There's references to the Corn and the Beautiful. So I'm wondering if that means that they were on a soap opera at one point. The number 16 was written out. I don't know if it was in Candles or in Lights. I can't remember, but just wrote down 16. Couldn't eat and couldn't sleep at one point. There was a hair crimper. There was a Rubik's Cube. She was not always healthy. I thought it said wealthy. Healthy. There was a rainbow flag. That's all I wrote down, I think.
Yeah, so I wrote down, the pride flag. Mentioned that she will survive, and as soon as she said that, and then had the older references like the Rubik's Cube and the hair crimper, I was like, this has to be this person that I was thinking of.
I Will Survive, was that a hit song in the 80s?
I don't know if that was 70s, 80s, but I would guess 80s. But to me, I was born in the 80s, so everything older was like the 80s. It all happened in the 80s. Venus should bring you closer to her is what I wrote down as well. But I don't know what that reference is. I mean, I instantly thought before hearing any of the judges, I'm like, this is this person. It sounds like them. That I Will Survive reference. To me, it's Gloria Gaynor. Easy. But Joel guessed Gloria Gaynor, and Jenny guessed Vanessa Williams. Which was like a stretch because she was tying it into like how Vanessa was on Ugly Betty, and then I don't even know how she got to Ugly Betty, and then Ken guessed Katy Perry. I mean, no, and Katy Perry's I think she's had the baby now, but she was very pregnant earlier this year when this would have been filmed, and so no, definitely. And then even when she's not pregnant, I mean, she has a brand new baby. It's definitely not Katy Perry, but yeah, 100%. And it's a way more, mature voice again, older, sounds like one of the greats. Really surprised that they actually said I Will Survive in there. They let her say that because it's such a dead giveaway to me.
They got a 2-episode contract,
That's what I'm saying. It does happen where they're like, this is the episode that she needs to go. So we have to put the most obvious clues and, rig the voting. But yeah,
Now,
It's
do we know if okay? So you say your guess.
yeah. So again, it was Gloria Gaynor, and then referencing what happened before, like in episode 1, I'm like, does she have a New York tie? I don't know where Gloria Gaynor is from, but or the fish with hoops, but it fits well enough.
Oh, royal family. I mean, I'm gonna watch this time more so with Gloria Gaynor in mind. But I'm thinking it might be somebody else, like Aretha Franklin. I don't know, she's just not alive anymore. But like somebody that's
Back from the grave just for
I
this.
mean, stranger things have happened, right?
Yeah, like they guessed Tina Turner episode 1, and I was like, yes, in that vein, but not. And then I was like, Gloria Gaynor, that's it. Like that's what I mean, I will survive.
We'll see. I don't know if I'm going fully with that yet. Um, we'll see. Like I don't know if like the Rubik's Cube and the crimper, if that would just be like yes, like Gloria Gaynor. Like what did the Rubik's Cube have to do with it? Is it just
I
reference
think those are just the older references of the
frame,
era.
crimp her hair in the video? Like I don't know. I don't know if that for me would make it like bing, yes, it's her. But I'm not completely against it. Do we know about her health situation growing up? Was she unhealthy? Did she get sick? Did she have depression? Has she been on magazine covers? Anyways, but she definitely is a Black woman. That's all I got so far from her. I'm not fully sold on Gloria Gaynor, but I'm not against it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see next episode, perhaps.
So we have the giraffe.
The giraffe, yeah. So there was a reference to crossroads in life. There was the
Brains called
there was the fox reference because which the fox character, which was Wayne Brady. So is it a Fox reference or is it a Wayne Brady reference?
Or a Jamie Foxx reference. They seem to always want ever to be Jamie Foxx.
Now, there was a eye that blinked, and then the domino that came out was one domino, and then it has like an 8, and then there was like whatever. How did you figure it was 2? Maybe there's a 2 on the other side, or 2 4s made 8.
2 4s.
So there could be a potential Blink 182 reference, which made me think that, like this is when I was definitely sold on Travis. I'm like, it's totally Travis Barker. I'm like, we thought it was Travis last time.
Like, plane crash. Okay.
Absolutely. Like this is, what were his clues last time? I have it here. So it was like, music's in his blood. Yep. He rapped the first time. I was like, okay, cool. Yeah. Roller coaster career. Sure. I'm like, he's seen all this stuff. So, and then the eye blinking in the 182 reference, I was like, okay, I don't know where the Fox or Wayne Brady comes in, but this is definitely Travis Barker.
I didn't feel for sure for it to not be, but if it was him, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah.
Right. And the guesses were, so Robin said Travis Barker.
Mm-hmm.
Joel said Scott Wolf. Nicole said Nicole and Ken, said like Shia LaBeouf. But then Ken also like blabbed on about nothing, and then the draft laid down and went to sleep. But this was my guess for Travis is that so Travis was actually, there was peaches, right? And when Travis was in his accident, he was released from a hospital in Georgia. And the Crossroads, Travis actually owns a restaurant in LA called Crossroads. So when they said Crossroads Life, I was like,
Jaquan says, oh, it would be legendary to see Terry Crews singing 1,000 Miles. That would be really funny, actually.
He'd do it.
He would do it. And Blake,
the peck bounce would give him away, though.
I'll let you know. I'll Instagram you what we decide that we're gonna do.
So as soon as it said the Crossroads and I looked up that he owns a restaurant called Crossroads in LA. I was
Oh.
like, definitely Travis Barker. Like, definitely. So I was convinced.
Convinced. So I wasn't really convinced here. I still was like, I'm not sure. Everybody gave guesses that sounded plausible to me. So it was going to be one that I was just going to have to be surprised by, because I was like, I can't tell. And the clues are not, glaring enough for me to be able to guess who it is. So I was like, well, just see who it is. And then this was like right before, like, because I was watching this episode right before we came on live. And again, I got fooled by me trying to find a Masked Singer logo, that I went Masked Singer, and I saw what happened. Anyways, I'll tell you the rest of that story in a moment. So we see the snow owls again. There was the letters DAL on a basketball.
Yeah, and there was the letter D in lights that kind of fell off that they zoomed in on, kind of a thing. So it's like there's the DAL, there's the D.
Talk about tipping their hat. There was a pearl reference.
Again, another opportunity fit for a queen. The anchor with the management on it could be like Anchorman reference.
Hi, Silas. How are you? You are new to our page. This is true, but you have commented, which is awesome. But you love it. That's great. Continuously sharing on Twitter. That's so nice of you. Thank you so much. So yeah, we're doing the Masked Singer tonight. I know you kind of popped in before on Love Island, but we're also doing The Bachelor on Wednesday afternoons as well, and then Amazing Race on Thursday evening. So hang out with us all the time. You can. But thanks for supporting us. We love you.
Silas.
Oh, who's this? How's Life Pro? I mean, it'd be better if you subscribe if you haven't done so already. Love subscribers. Sorry to cut you off.
Who was that? I don't know. Who are you? Say things. Tell us stuff. I was just saying, the another clue? Oh, the clue that flew in was the witch's hat.
I didn't pay attention to that part.
So, it's a witch's reference, and I feel like they said they're not a couple but related. They always have what I write, country twang to them. Was there a cauldron or something as well? I think there might have been.
I don't.
And so that with the witch's hat, I was like, is this like Wicked? Is there like those references? But what's the D in lights? Like those very specific kind of lights that you have on things. But but the management thing where it had man in a different lettering than agement. So I was like, ooh, I don't know. Anchor with management on it. So like Anchor Man. I need to look things up for the Snow Owls.
The Snow Owls is like, I'm stumped.
When it was like D, I was like, oh my God, is it Derek? Because I'm like the D for Derek. But what's the basketball with the DAL on it is such a great, like.
It seems like that's like going to be like a big, like, aha kind of clue. It seems kind of obvious. One of the guests that they had was Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman. I'm like, that would be a pretty impressive get if they got those two to be the Snow Owls. I'd be pretty into that for sure. But I didn't really have a guess for them still. I'm like, I don't know.
I just was more convinced that they're not Derek and Julianne. I was like, I don't know who they are either. But, again, seem more mature, seem like maybe people that I actually don't know. So I'm waiting for this to be pieced together. But, yeah, I feel like once you kind of have a hint and run with it, you can fit in all these other clues.
It's so true.
Because there's a lot of clues there.
I know. So then we also have the sun again. The sun talks about missing out on her childhood. References about going into the woods.
Material Girl.
Yep. Ugly rumors about them.
Yeah.
She sang Praying by, I think it was Kesha. It sounded to me like a country singer, had a little bit of a country edge to it. You have your guess.
Oh no, sorry. This was the one that was stirring the witch's pot. So there was a couple witch references. But the yeah, I grew up in a fractured home. Yeah, into the woods. Spider, what did I write? Spider on an hourglass with red sand. And I was like, I don't know what that is. And then the clue that came out that was flying out was a magic 8-ball.
Yeah, and I was like,
And I'm like, no, I don't know. So I really don't know because the son is such a good singer that I was like,
my guess, I've not fit in any of the clues yet, but my guess
I'm not
is like
either.
Carrie Underwood. That's who I was thinking. I'm like, maybe it's her because, but then I'm like, but it doesn't sound like her, but she could be trying to not sound like herself. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I think it's Leanne Rhymes.
very good guess.
Just by voice. But and I know Leanne Rhymes. I mean, I was a big fan of Leanne growing up, and then the whole thing with Eddie and
That's like
Cyprian.
the ugly rumors that could be.
Yeah, exactly. So that definitely, but I don't know how some of these clues, other than ugly rumors, kind of fit into what Leanne Rhymes has done. I'm like, where's the Coyote Ugly? You know, like where's that reference? I don't know.
I don't know either, but you know what? I do know that I'm excited to see the next episode because I need to know more about Group B.
So excited, so
Group
excited.
B.
And then so Jenny said for that one, just to finish up on the Sun, Jenny said Demi Lovato or Mandy Moore. Robin said Catherine McPhee. I don't think it's again any of those people. And then Nicole said Carrie Underwood.
I do recognize the voice though.
So that's twice that Catherine McPhee's come up for their guessing, and twice Demi Lovato has come up. So I'm like, it's interesting to me that they don't want to veer off from saying specific names. I almost feel like that's a clue within itself, that they keep bringing up Catherine McPhee and Demi Lovato. I'm like, they definitely want to steer us away from something, and I just haven't figured out what that is. Yeah, but I mean, you know, who knows? This was, yeah, stirring a witch's pot, spider, magic 8-ball. These are all like spooky, like you think it's like Sabrina the Teenage Witch or something. Like it's all kind of.
Melissa Joan Hart.
Oh, I don't think she can sing like that. But it has like a witch's kind of a reference. Guys, it's Sandra Bullock. That's it.
It's Bette Midler.
Oh my gosh! Can it please be something to do with that? Yeah, Hocus Pocus.
Well,
I don't know.
Love breaking this down with you. I'm glad we're caught up now on the episode, and so we could just like go into like a deep dive. We could, you know, of each episode moving forward. I just didn't want it to be like a 3-hour thing about the first 3 episodes. I think it's like perfect, concise. Yeah. Get us everybody up to date on the Masked Singer.
We didn't say who the person was.
Oh,
that got eliminated.
I totally forgot because I already know. So that's why I think. Yeah, we should do the reveal on this show because I think it's fun.
Yeah. So just to go over that quickly, we can do that. So so they had like their final. They're like, okay, who is it? Who is it? This is who's eliminated, and the giraffe got eliminated. And Ken stuck with Shia. Nicole said Dale Earnhardt Jr. Jenny said Travis Barker. Then she said Seth Green. But I was like, nope, it's Travis. And then Robin said Jaleel White, or he thought initially it was Jaleel White in the beginning. And then he transitioned to Travis Barker. And then Joel, so I was on that train with him. And then Joel said Jason Priestley. And he was close.
Very close.
He was close because
it was.
You said
Brian Austin Green.
The Fox reference, Megan Fox.
Peach Pit. It all makes sense. I didn't know that he was in any sort of accident or anything like that. I didn't know about that.
I didn't either.
I love the fact that he grew up with Robin Thicke, and they used to, and there was a reference that was specifically that Robin should have recognized. I thought that was really, like, I love that. You know, it's like, aha, I fooled you right in front of your
I
nose.
love Robin seeing his face, being like, are you kidding me? Like, this is like my best friend growing up. Like, how do I not know it's this person? I love that. I genuinely think that's like true. Yeah.
I love seeing the old pictures of them together. I was like, this, like, that was what I had a huge crush on Brian Austin Green. Like, I watched 90210 from day one. I was like in middle school. It was the best show on Fox. I think it was on Fox actually at that time too. So maybe
and that's like, so my sister aunt, she's only a few years older than me, but she is your age, and so she had the 90210 quilts and like all in this, like that was the prime age to like love that show.
I had their pictures up on like the whole wall covered with 90210 photos of like Dylan and Brendan.
So I blame you for not getting this one, because this was like in your element for this one.
Well, I guess
I never watched it, only when she was watching it, and I wasn't allowed stealing the TV away. But yeah,
I wasn't thinking in that direction at all, and like I was kind of also just trying to catch up, and so. And then I got spoiled by accident. So before, like, I got my first real guess onto who it was. Like, before I was like, oh, maybe it's Nick Carter and like all these other guesses. And then I was like, okay, I'm hunkering down on like who I'm going to think it is. I'm like, oh, I should pull up the graphic though, so I can make this for when we go live. And when I did that, it just had his thing go off. So I hadn't had a chance to go and reinvestigate his clues yet because I got spoiled. So not sure if I would have gotten it or not. It doesn't seem like it, but I might have been able to think through it better if I wasn't spoiled.
It was fun, and it was nice to see him on that. He would do something like that. So
so cute. Did you break up with Megan?
Yeah. Oh yeah. She was right with what's his face, Machine Gun Kelly or whatever. And he's since, I think, taken someone on a date or two. But yeah, which I mean, I don't know why, but I've always rooted for them as a couple. I'm like, you guys can do it.
Brian, if you are looking to someone to date, I'm more than happy to be Megan Fox's sloppy seconds. Just putting it out there.
And subscribe to Reality Realnesss.
Thank you. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I was going to say what it popped up again. Well, thanks, guys, for hanging out with us as we break down the first 3 episodes of The Masked Singer. Jonathan, are you working on anything? Are people to follow you, or what's happening with you?
I'm working on lots of stuff, but I can't talk about most of it. So, yeah, I mean, I don't post any of it either, but you know, you can see pictures of my dog, Jonathan Oliveira 1983 on Instagram or on Twitter at Oliveira Casting. In case there is something that I can post, I may put it up there. So you never know.
Cool beans. And obviously we're going to encourage you guys again to subscribe right down below. It's kind of like down below Jonathan over there. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. And when that happens, I'm going to have a surprise guest host that's going to come and break down. I think that you know who my guest host is going to be, right, Jonathan?
No.
Well, yeah, you do. So I think someone like a celebrity. You know her very well.
Oh, that's fun.
I'm thinking of maybe like the Masked Singer. Like that would be the funniest one for her to be breaking down.
Oh my God, would she do it? Yeah,
she told me she's going to. So she's like on Instagram, seeing what her fans like. And so if there's maybe a show that she wants, they want her to talk about. And so she's been promoting that here as well. So to come on here. So she said that she will be the prize at 1,000 subscribers. And so I think the Masked Singer might be the most fun show for her to be able to just do a one-off episode about.
Yeah. And it's quick too. Like I feel like it's You can't dive into like there's no live feeds or there's no, you know.
But she also, though, is obsessed with Selling Sunset and really wants to talk about the Oppenheimer twin brothers.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe I can get her to do two. Naomi and Adrian from 90210 are two goddesses. I don't even know who that is. Naomi and Adrian. Oh, this is the new season. Not new 90210, bad. Like, this is talking about 90210 from like 1992.
Yeah.
Like 92, I think, is when it started. I know who they are now. The girl with the curly hair, I think, is Naomi. But that's like the new class, and like I don't know anything about the new class at all because I was like probably in my 30s when it came out. So it's definitely not something that I watch. I watch the OG 90210. Yes, Shaquan, peace and blessings to you. Thanks for hanging out with us twice in one day. Very much appreciate it. Do I have anything else to say? Follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you want. You can see where it is there. But most importantly, share this with your friends. Get people to subscribe. Hit the like button. All the things that worked well for our analytics and the algorithm. So YouTube will help get this in front of more people. So then it'll be easier for me to get to 1,000 subscribers. And then lastly, just ring that bell. Every time you ring the bell, you'll be notified to when we go live with new content, which I'm trying to do something every day. I'm going to do my best to do something every day for you guys. So if you have something specific, let me know. Anything else, Jonathan?
Watch The Masked Singer with us, and I want you guys to like guess and speculate, and we'll figure out who it is together. Yeah, let's do it.
Yes, you doubled the Chantele today too. Thanks, Blaine. Twice in one day. Yay! Final thoughts, Jonathan?
No, just join us kind of next week, and for all of the other Reality Realnesss. You know what? Rylan keeps bothering me, so here we go.
Hi, Rylan.
Say bye.
Are you the mask? Are you the giraffe?
He's the whatchamacallit.
Are you the whatchamacallit?
Yeah.
Click that here. Bye.